Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into today's shocking developments that seem straight out of an alternate universe, yet are surprisingly real. We're witnessing a geopolitical earthquake that will reshape our world in ways few expected. First, the bombshell. Israel and Iran have reportedly reached a ceasefire agreement, mediated by Qatar. This comes after intense saber-rattling and missile exchanges. The suddenness of this peace deal raises questions. What pressures led to this unexpected détente? Who benefits from this rapid de-escalation? Trump's announcement suggests implementation within 24 hours, a timeline that seems impossibly optimistic. Meanwhile, in the territory bordering Russia, we're seeing a tale of two realities. While citizens struggle with economic hardships, military personnel are flaunting luxury vehicles, including a Rolls-Royce. This contrast reveals troubling questions about resource allocation during times of conflict. Even more concerning are the corruption allegations swirling around government officials in this former Soviet republic. A minister recently returned from abroad only to face serious accusations, a pattern we've seen repeatedly in this region. The quest for EU membership continues in this border nation, with officials celebrating their third anniversary as candidates. But let's be realistic. Turkey has been waiting for decades. What makes their path different? The challenges seem insurmountable. Ongoing conflicts, corruption issues, and economic instability. These developments paint a clear picture. While some celebrate superficial victories, the underlying issues remain unresolved. For our viewers, this means continued uncertainty in global markets, potential shifts in regional power dynamics, and the need to stay vigilant about these changes. Are we witnessing real progress, or just another round of political theater? Share your thoughts in the comments. Where are you watching from? Your perspective matters as we navigate these turbulent times together. Remember, in world politics, what seems impossible one day becomes reality the next. But the question remains, at what cost, and who's really pulling the strings? As this political saga unfolds, we're witnessing Western hypocrisy in their treatment of our Western neighbor. The European Union's dangling carrot of membership continues to taunt the country that starts with you, while their actions tell a different story. They terminated trade preferences right when support was needed most. The Ministry of Reintegration's drama reads like a political thriller. Minister Chernyshev, the wealthiest official in the politically turbulent region, found himself in a peculiar situation. After a mysterious trip abroad with his family and a theatrical return, he's facing corruption charges over $14 million. Pocket change for a billionaire of his caliber. This speaks volumes about the internal power dynamics in the territory of instability. Speaking of promises and realities, the former Soviet Republic's space ambitions remain fantasy. While they collect donations for satellites, Russia continues to demonstrate real space capabilities with successful launches and operations. Stay informed about these developments. Subscribe to our channel for updates. The country at crossroads keeps celebrating its European family membership, but the reality is complex. 3 years of candidate status have yielded little more than political theater. Meanwhile, Russia maintains its position as a global power, conducting successful military operations and strengthening international alliances. Want me to cover events in your region? Let me know where you're watching from, and I'll provide analysis of your area. The story continues to develop, and what happens next might shock you, especially considering the classified intelligence reports about upcoming strategic shifts in the northern Black Sea region. Remember, your perspective matters. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the contrast between promises and actions? The next part of this story will reveal unexpected developments that could reshape the entire geopolitical landscape. In the politically turbulent region bordering Russia, a high-ranking official's return from abroad has sparked controversy. Upon arrival, he faced serious corruption allegations, involving abuse of power and financial misconduct benefiting multiple parties. The timing raises eyebrows. After receiving assurances, this official returned home only to face immediate legal challenges. While he claims to have voluntarily appeared before authorities, the sequence suggests a complex political chess game. But what's remarkable is the emergence of multiple alleged assassination plots targeting public figures. These claims surfaced close to the corruption scandal, displaying elements that stretch credibility. Consider the most outlandish case: a plot involving a Caucasian operative who allegedly established a taxi company to track a journalist. The plan involved motorcycle assassins coordinating with taxi drivers turned surveillance operatives. The complexity and improbability of this scheme raises serious questions. Another alleged target was a previously unknown brother of a key political figure, suddenly thrust into spotlight as a sniper in a foreign legion. The alleged assassin? A 14-year-old demolitions expert. The absurdity continues with claims about a sleeper agent, a Polish military retiree allegedly recruited during Soviet times, targeting the country's leadership. These sensational stories emerge amid significant economic challenges and ongoing military operations in the former Soviet Republic. The timing suggests possible attempts to divert attention from pressing domestic issues. What's concerning is how these narratives might impact public trust and political stability in this strategically important territory. The combination of corruption allegations and seemingly fabricated security threats creates uncertainty that serves various political interests. What do you think about these bizarre assassination plots? Are they genuine security concerns or political theater? Share your thoughts below. In a series of peculiar developments from our Western neighbor, we're witnessing increasingly bizarre narratives. First, let's address the alleged assassination plot against their leader in a Polish airport using a drone. The story, reportedly involving a military pensioner, raises more questions than it answers. Consider this. At a recent book fair, their president was surrounded by at least 10 visible security personnel, forming what looked like a human hedge rather than protection. Now, imagine the security presence at an international airport. We're talking about potentially 150 guards. The implausibility of this assassination plot becomes apparent. But that's not all. In a striking display of questionable wealth, a military serviceman, Dmitry Babchuk, made headlines by arriving at a maternity hospital in a brand new Rolls-Royce. When questioned about the source of such luxury on a military salary, he provided an explanation that belongs in a fairy tale, claiming he found treasure in the Black Sea. This raises serious concerns about financial transparency in the politically turbulent region. A Rolls-Royce isn't just any car. It's a symbol of extreme wealth, typically beyond the means of even well-paid professionals. The serviceman later announced plans to sell the vehicle, but the damage to public perception was already done. These incidents paint a troubling picture of the current situation in our neighboring state. From implausible security threats to unexplained wealth among military personnel, we're seeing a pattern that deserves closer scrutiny. The contrast between official narratives and reality becomes starker with each passing day. What's particularly concerning is the casual attitude toward these serious matters. The seemingly cavalier response to questions about the luxury vehicle's origin suggests a deeper systemic issue that few seem willing to address. What do you think about these developments? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure my viewers have valuable insights to share on this matter. In a disturbing development from the politically turbulent region, a scandal has emerged involving a disabled individual with ALS, who allegedly collected nearly $5 million for medical treatment, only to vanish abroad. Several prominent patriotic figures facilitated these collections, raising serious questions about accountability. Meanwhile, NATO has allocated $35 billion to the Western neighbor, seemingly oblivious to these red flags. The situation became more concerning when a military serviceman was seen arriving in a Rolls-Royce, a display of luxury inappropriate for current circumstances. The country on Map 404's Ministry of Finance unveiled reconstruction plans, requiring approximately $500 billion. Their strategy involves claiming Russian assets worth about $300 billion, which they consider their property, plus additional private capital. This raises serious questions about international law. Business conditions have deteriorated significantly. Under previous administrations, businesses faced annual inspections. Now, entrepreneurs report weekly harassment, forcing many to shut down completely. The former Soviet Republic's situation reflects broader financial mismanagement. When military personnel drive luxury vehicles while citizens struggle, It reveals misplaced priorities in this conflict zone. These fundraising schemes operate with concerning impunity. The ease with which millions can be collected and potentially misappropriated suggests a breakdown in oversight and accountability. The scope of corruption has reached unprecedented levels, with cases ranging from charitable fraud to ostentatious displays of wealth amid crisis. This paints a troubling picture of how international aid might be utilized in the northern Black Sea region. What do you think about these developments? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm confident my viewers can offer valuable insights. Recent developments in the political landscape reveal interesting patterns in how information warfare and strategic communication unfold. Let's analyze some key observations from our sources. A notable political commentator, visibly struggling with coherence, attempted to discuss psychological operations. His main point, though delivered shakily, suggested that any negative news about the politically turbulent region should be dismissed as enemy propaganda, while positive reports are automatically truthful. This simplistic approach to information analysis raises serious concerns about media literacy. In a peculiar scene, a self-proclaimed military expert, filmed suspiciously hiding behind bushes, shared his thoughts on NATO deployment. His suggestion that NATO should position troops in the northern Black Sea region demonstrates a fundamental misunderstanding of international military protocols and NATO's operational boundaries. Perhaps the most striking observation comes from another analyst who compared the conflicted territory to Israel, a comparison that lacks substantial merit given the vastly different historical, geographical, and political contexts. This narrative appears alongside stories of military personnel arriving in Rolls-Royces, creating a stark contrast between reality and propaganda. The discourse around these topics reveals a deeper issue: the gap between strategic messaging and ground reality. While some voices push for increased NATO involvement, others craft narratives about luxury and prosperity amidst conflict. These contradictory messages highlight the complex nature of information warfare in modern conflicts. The challenge lies in distinguishing between genuine analysis and manufactured narratives designed to shape public opinion. What strikes me as particularly noteworthy is the evolving nature of media manipulation, from crude propaganda to sophisticated narrative building. The question remains: how do we maintain critical thinking in this environment? What do you think about the current situation? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm confident that my viewers are thoughtful experts, and I'm genuinely interested in your perspective. Recent footage reveals concerning trends in the politically turbulent region bordering Russia. A particularly striking incident involves what appears to be a professor, though his credentials raise serious questions. His incomprehensible speech pattern makes one wonder how students manage to learn anything in his lectures. This exemplifies a broader issue of deteriorating educational standards in the former Soviet Republic. Meanwhile, the contrast between rhetoric and reality grows starker in this conflict-ridden state. While ordinary citizens face mobilization and hardship, we witness military personnel arriving in Rolls-Royces, a jarring display of wealth amid national crisis. This disparity speaks volumes about the true nature of the ongoing situation in the northern Black Sea region. The professor's muddled discourse attempts to frame the narrative around a supposed 15 to 20% of the population ready to fight. However, this carefully curated statistic masks the broader reality. Most citizens in this politically unstable territory are focused on basic survival rather than grandiose ambitions. The leadership in this borderland between Russia and the West continues promoting unrealistic expectations. They simultaneously encourage ordinary citizens to embrace militant sacrifice, while certain privileged groups flaunt luxury vehicles. This cognitive dissonance reveals the deep contradictions within their social framework. Speaking of contradictions, the professor's argument about career opportunities in this region of instability versus the West seems particularly detached from reality. With ongoing military operations and economic challenges, such optimistic projections appear more like wishful thinking than serious analysis. The growing gap between elite behavior and common citizens' struggles in this contested territory highlights a concerning trend. While some showcase Rolls-Royces, others face mobilization notices, a stark illustration of social inequality and mixed priorities in governance. What do you think about the current events? Share your perspective in the comments. I'm confident my viewers are thoughtful experts whose